is Jess from Sports Mind Inspired, and today I'm going to interview Jon Alagoa, a martial arts instructor.
And slowly bring it up to the side. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Time.
Hi Jon.
Hi, how's it going?
So, how did you get into martial arts?
I started when I was about 6 or 7. My parents took me to a kung fu class with my older brother. Kind of probably around the time of like Ninja Turtles, so that's probably one of the reasons. We were always kind of like big for our age, so like there was a kids class and adults class, so we were like 7 and 8, and we had to like work with the adults as well, like big like sweaty ones. So there's a Southern Mantis Kung Fu guy who was in Stratford, he's still there actually, his name's Paul Wictroy. And yeah, just because we were big for our age, and it was kind of like the kids were just kind of mucking about, and they kind of wanted us to actually, you know, get good at it, so that's one of the reasons we did it, yeah.
Okay, so that was Kung Fu, and then what other martial arts have you done since?
So, did that for like a couple of years, and then didn't really kind of do it seriously until about 2003, I think, yeah. And I started doing Wushu Quan, which is Chinese kickboxing, and I did that at university.
Okay, and what made you want to go into that?
Well, I'd always kind of wanted to get back into it, because it was something that I enjoyed doing, but we just kind of stopped doing it because we wanted to like play something when we were kids. And then one of my friends was going to the class, he said I should come along, and said it was really fun, and I did, and I really liked it, and I like continued doing that all the way through university and afterwards. It's hard for him to hit me, okay? So he tries to punch. Yep, go in there, okay? If some people do this all day long, if it's who just does this? Yeah, all of this, okay? Keep this to protect here. If it's low, yeah, he's got his legs as well. Yeah, and it's also hard for me to get in. Has anyone ever kicked someone in the elbow? There you go, okay? That is not fun, okay? So don't make it fun for people, okay? Hand up like this, ready to hit someone, okay?
And what was the training like?
It's quite hard to kind of pick up. But I think because I had already had a foundation in Kung Fu, it was easier for me to pick up than other people, you know, kind of like placing the feet and just being a little bit more flexible. It took me a long time to kind of like be able to kick high and stuff, but yeah. So
what's the difference between Wushu and Kung Fu?
So it's tricky. So you've got Wushu, which is kind of like the kind of Jet Li kind of more demonstration style, and then our kind of one was like a more recent one. Wushu Quan is a lot like kickboxing, but the forms are like the traditional forms like Wushu, like Shaolin, like Tai Chi, bits of that. And then the sparring is like full contact sparring, and you can get to legs, you wear like full head guards for protection and everything. Taekwondo, it's quite similar, so it's like kind of usually a stand-up like striking martial art as well. Just like when you're sparring, the kicks are above the belt, so you kind of have to kick high. Teach 3 times a month now. Sometimes the small kids, but mainly just like the teenagers, the adults. All of this versus this and this. Okay? So which one's going to win? Okay? So when I do that, I'm not going to do it full speed because I don't want to jerk his neck. But I grab here and I stand up at the same time. So all of that is pushing his neck back. There's a limit to where his neck's going to go back. So if I keep pushing, yep, it goes there, and he goes down, and you walk off. Depending on how dangerous they are. Okay? So, one more time. You add a little thing on the end. So, go around here. Hand under chin. Push up. Yep. Push these hands over. As you push back, turn round. Right. Okay?
How do you find the difference teaching children to teaching adults?
Adults listen better, I find. You do get some kids that are fine. Obviously, you've kind of got to keep them like occupied. You can't just kind of like let them get on with it because you know they're going to just go crazy. I mean, we've got like kids that are from like young as 4 going up to like 14, so there's like quite a lot of difference between them. So with the younger ones, you've got to kind of like keep them occupied all the time, and like the older ones, you can give them a bit of responsibility. So the older ones, you find like once you give them, so if you get them to teach the little kids, they'll take it a lot more serious rather than if you've got like 2 14-year-olds being teenagers.
So a lot of people think that martial arts is quite an aggressive sport. What would you say to those people?
It can be, but it kind of depends on how you use it. I mean, for me personally, I don't tend to compete that much because there's not many tournaments for like Taekwondo in particular in London. Some people like that's the main thing they want to do. They want it as a sport. So we've actually got two different types of Taekwondo. You've got ITF, which is the one that we do, which is more kind of traditional. Like one main thing, we can punch in the head. The WTF style, which is the Olympic style, is more of like a sport competition. That's where they wear like the full bodyguards and they don't punch so much, but it's just loads and loads of kicks. So that one isn't really, because it is more of a sport, it's a lot more competitive, whereas our one's more just for like kind of like building up your own training, kind of like building yourself up as a person as well, I guess. Yeah, just using like a goal, sense of achievement rather than competition. Although we do have competition as well though.
So do you think it's a lifestyle choice, or do you think, like, do you still have a social life, a home life? Like, how do you deal with all of that?
Yeah, I mean, we train usually once a week, so it doesn't really interfere too much. It's like on a Tuesday night, and I teach some of the people like extra classes at the weekend as well. When I was going for my first black belt, my second black belt, I trained a lot more. It's kind of like someone said to me once, like, asked us if practice makes perfect, and everyone's like, yeah, it does. But then he said, no, like perfect practice makes perfect. So what I meant by that is like if you practice a kick like 100 times, but you practice it wrong, it's still gonna be the wrong kick. So you have to get it perfect every time. So it's about kind of like perfecting all your techniques. So something to work on.
So what would you say to all those young people out there to inspire them?
So if anyone's seen something like, I don't know, on back or the raid, and then wow, I'm gonna do that. As long as you put the effort in, you can do that as well, because those guys were normal guys as well, just they wanted to do this, so it's about wanting to do it really.
Nice, thank you so much, John.
No problem.
And thank you guys for watching, I hope we've inspired you.
Ready?
Yep, rolling. Woo!
That was awesome.
Good audience.